I played 1,111 raids in this wipe alone, and if average queue time is 3 minutes, I have spent 55 hours just staring at my character during the loading screen. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know where this video is gonna go. I'm just gonna be rambling a little bit about this lovely little game called Escape From Tarkov. These are just my opinions, and just from my point of view, how I feel like the game is, how it could be, like certain things that I would like to see in the game. I don't expect everyone to agree with what I say, but maybe we can have a nice little healthy discussion in the comments. Just let me know what you want to see in the game, what you would like to see changed. First thing I do want to talk about is the queue times, which I don't know if anyone is going to disagree with this one, but sitting 3 minutes in a queue on early wipe it's okay. It's not that bad, but once it gets to the mid wipe, then it's like 4 minutes, and then now late wipe. I played Shoreline a couple of days ago. It was like 6-7 minute queue every single time I wanted to play Shoreline, and I feel like that's a little bit shit, to be honest with you. So instead of just forcing us to stare at that beautiful little circle there, or our character doing some like 2 or 3 animations that he does, let us just move things around in our stash, or let us sell stuff on the flea market. So if we get out of a raid, instead of emptying the backpack and then starting selling stuff, we are gonna empty our backpack, restock on ammo, meds, queue up again, and then while we're queuing up, we can just sell the stuff from our last raid. That would save us so much time. Like, most of the time it takes 5 minutes to sell all the stuff from a raid anyway. So if then we had a 5-minute queue, it would kind of work out pretty well, you know? Or even just let us craft stuff in our hideout. That would be nice. Or hand in task items. I think that would be pretty cool if BSG considered that. So I don't know if anyone ever is gonna see that from BSG, but I hope they do, and I hope they consider that, because I think that would save us a considerable amount of time. The next thing I want to talk about is the state of PvP in this game, which is right now, at the time of making this video, it is absolutely terrible. And it's mainly because of desync, for me at least. Me personally, I feel like desync is the worst out of all the other problems like sound and so on. It is extremely discouraging to PvP if you die when you've taken 2 or 3 steps into cover already, and then obviously on the guy you're fighting on his screen, you are just out in the open, just standing there or about to get into cover. I've killed people like that. They've come to my stream and they say like, I was already extracted and I died. The desync was that bad. Obviously that's a little bit over exaggerated, if you couldn't tell, but my point is that if they don't fix the desync, or at least find a way to reduce it, people are just gonna be forced to rat. Actually, that's already happened. I don't know why I'm saying like it's gonna happen. It's already happened. People are ratting. Like, if you go to labs, how often do you run into people just taking on a straight fight? Like, at least for me, I encounter a duo that is ratting in a corner more often than I encounter people like pushing me or whatever, especially on labs. But maybe that's my experience, because I don't play labs that much, because I'm not a big fan of labs. Anyway, getting back to the point, in my opinion, desync forces you to rat, because the ratting is the only consistent way that you can win PvP fights, which in a way makes PvP happen even less, which for me, like, PvP is the main thing to do in Escape From Tarkov. Like, once you've completed your goals of, I don't know, max traders or whatever, like, I feel like PvP is the main thing that people enjoy doing in this game. Questing is boring as fuck. It gets really boring. So what else is there? It's either go collect items and make as much money as you can, or just go in PvP and use that money and go in PvP. Anyway, my point is that if you die to desync, it fucking sucks. And now I'm at a stage where I kill someone and I don't feel as good or as accomplished, because there's a good chance that he was desynced at that point. So it's like it's a two-way street, that if I get clapped because of desync, it sucks. And I kill someone that's running into cover, there's a good chance, like a very, very good chance, that he was desynced, and I don't feel as good about it, because I didn't outplay him by skill. I just, I don't know, had better fucking internet connection or whatever causes desync or reduces it. I don't even know. But besides desync, there is another aspect to PvP that I absolutely hate, especially early wipe. And let's say I am queuing up to go interchange. I want to go into Ollie to pick up some bolts and light bulbs for my hideout. I get the perfect spawn. I spawn in front of Ollie. I am beelining towards the front entrance, and I run into a 3-man squad. Now, in this imaginary scenario, fortunately for me, I one-tap everyone. Not a scratch on my body. All my limbs are intact. Nothing to worry about in terms of health. But I am still left with 2 choices. Let's say they have like decent gear that I do want to pick up. As soon as I pick that stuff up, my original plan is out the window. I cannot go into the mall, because if I run into another player while carrying all their gear, which puts me way overweight, every time I run into another player, I'm gonna be in such a huge disadvantage that it is just not worth it. My raid ends as soon as I kill that trio and pick up their loot. Now, I could just leave their loot, obviously, which I am forced to do more often than I would like, but I don't know why we're put into that dilemma, or like, why do we have to make that choice? Why can't we just pick up that stuff? Why does my private military contractor act like he's never carried any weight around? Yes, being heavy is not comfortable, and it should be in the game some sort of mechanic to point that out, but it shouldn't be that every time you run it takes like 12 steps to slow or like come to a stop. Or why do I have to ADS in slow motion to like give me that feeling of being extremely overweight? I don't think it's a great mechanic. I think your movement restrictions should be based on the armor that you wear and the guns. Like if you're wearing the big ass Zabrala on you, like obviously that's like, I don't know, like 20-30 kg armor. I think it's 20 kgs. I can't remember off the top of my head. Like that's when you're gonna be turning like a bus. Like that's like, I understand that, but like carrying that weight on my backpack, I feel like for the sake of gameplay it should not be part of it. And the worst thing is, if I take that stuff out, I can't even sell it on the flea market. I can't sell it to other players and make profit off of it. So PvP is, as you guys, everyone talks about it, like PvP is extremely unprofitable. You can make money off of it. I have 20 guns in my stash that I most likely will never use. I picked them up because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna strip them for parts and use them that way, but I never do. I can't be asked, and I just end up accumulating a ton of weapons, and I just feel like it's such a waste in terms of selling them to traders, because you're missing out on money, but at the same time I can't be asked to strip them apart for gun parts. So I feel like if we could sell the parts that we get from weapons and the weapons themselves on flea market, that would make PvP so much more worth it, just because you can make money off of it. Let's say today I go into raid, I bring an MK47, I load up with 7.62 by 39 BP rounds, which you can only craft, and the craft is pretty expensive. I go mac dump some guy or whatever, I use 2 max to kill him. Let's say I'm a terrible shot, and all they have on them is a messed up corn that I don't want to pick up because it's heavy and it's broken. I have to repair it, spend more money. So really only thing I want to pick up from them is either the loot that they've gathered, which obviously that's like the main thing that you can make money with on PvP, like is that hoping that they have something on them that makes you money. So like that's our only way of making money in PvP. So my point is that I think we should be able to sell stuff on flea market that we get from inside the raid, and that's it. And obviously I don't even want to talk about the sound. Obviously sound is not very good in this game at the time of making this video, but hopefully by the 2032 release date they have figured that out, and we won't have to worry about that. So but I do want to talk about the flea market a little bit. Okay, I don't know how many of you guys were here before the Found in Raid era, or before the Found in Raid update came into place. Basically, back in the day, if you, for example, you needed to find a Ushanka and a cowboy hat for a quest, you could just go on the flea market, you could buy it and hand it in, and you could essentially skip quests with money. Now, I absolutely hate that system, or I hated that way of playing the game, because it basically discourages you from going into the raid and finding those items. And some of these items are fucking painful to find. Like, don't get me wrong, it sucks, but it's still part of the game, and it's something to do, and it shouldn't be just skipped like that. And when the Found in Raid system came into place, I really liked it. It immediately solved that same issue that I was talking about. But I never really thought about the PvP side of things at that time, so I didn't realize that it completely fucks up the PvP in terms of like making money from PvP. It's hard to break even if you're running like decent gear consistently. And this is no idea of mine, for your information. This is suggested by many other content creators, which is making the Found in Raid system only for the quest items. And I think that's a great idea. It would allow us to sell our beautiful loot that we collect from all the other gamers that we manage to best in a fight, and at the same time it doesn't make us go broke if we die a couple times or whatever. Like it just helps us make a profit from PvP, and which means that if you're consistently good at PvP, you can make some money to an extent that you don't have to do like money runs on the side. And I really hope that one day, I really hope that next wipe we'll have that system in place, that the Found in Raid is only required for quest items. That would be amazing. I do want to talk about the AI a little bit. I feel like it's getting worse and worse every single wipe. For example, if you remember when rogues came into the game, they were a new thing. They were hard to beat. Even if you were following a guide from YouTube, it took considerable amount of effort to like get used to killing them. At least the ground rogues did. The rooftop ones are pretty easy to this day. You just gotta hit your shots. But my point is that eventually Lighthouse turned into a XP and a gear farm. To counter that, BSG just gave them even crazier reaction time and just gave them aimbot basically, which is no fun either. And I feel like that's not the way to improve the AI. Like, you're not really improving the AI. You're just giving them cheats, basically. It's like playing against a cheater. Because I'm pretty sure they track you through walls as well. The rogues do, at least. Not like always, but if you aggro them, like I've had the gunners try and shoot me through the walls before, and they've succeeded once or twice. So I'm not a huge fan of that. I think giving them wall hacks and aim lock and stuff like that is just not fun. Like, I would love to fight rogues when they are trying to surround me, when they're trying to like use some sort of tactics and like use grenades and flashes and like stuff like that. I want to experience that side of Tarkov. Not aimbot. I just want to have fun, and I just want to feel accomplished when I kill the rogues or any other boss in the game. Like, at this point, it doesn't feel like an accomplishment. It's just like I've somehow managed to survive aimbot. And speaking of AI and having tactics, some of the bosses are really, really easy to kill. For example, Reshala. Reshala and his guards are extremely stupid. Let's be honest here, they are fucking dumb. They line up in a perfect, like, if you fight them in dorms, they are in a perfect lineup half the time, and you can just mow them down as they stand there, sit in front of the doors, or they just sprint towards you in a line. And that's another thing, like, give them like some sort of strategy. Even if it's just them holding different rooms or holding angles. Why are they even spawning all in like one spot, like in one singular group? I don't understand. Like, they all spawn in one hall and they stand there until they get aggroed. And to counter that, BSG just nerfs their spawn rate to the ground until the mid wipe or end of the wipe. Just getting to them is just fucking annoying. Like, it's another thing that you don't feel very accomplished. Like, it feels good to kill Reshala and his boys and get like good gear, but you don't feel very accomplished because they just stand there. And yeah, it's just not fun. I feel like if BSG would put some effort, even a tiny bit of effort, to like giving them, just even spawning them on different parts of dorms, to like hold different floors and stuff, like, I think that would be much cooler. Because yeah, like I said, right now they just spawn in a line and super easy to kill. And then you fight Sanitar. His guards are running all over the place, but every time you get into their field of view, or at least you get into Sanitar's field of view for like half a second, he fucking destroys you. Also, I am certain that for the events, if you're fighting all the bosses during the events, they have turned that aimbot and all the reaction time and stuff like that down, because they don't want all the players to just rage quit because they can't fucking run around the map during the events and stuff. So yeah, instead of making them extremely rare or have extremely low reaction time and crazy fucking aim lock, maybe give them a little bit of substance, like some personality that we can fucking, I don't know, just make it more fun, please. Thank you. And the last thing I do want to talk about is the main reason I think the late wipe lobbies are so empty, or at least like mid wipe, the game really starts to die down, or like get really, really quiet month after month or week after week. Like, it gets queue times go up and so on and so forth. So if you've played multiple wipes already, the questing obviously gets very, very repetitive, but I personally still enjoy it to some extent because it's a fun grind for me. I enjoy that grind of getting max traders and unlocking like the good gear. But the late wipe quests, like once you're past the max traders and stuff, like that shit gets so annoying. Like, once you start working on like Shooter Born in Heaven, like off the top of my head, the first thing that comes to mind when I think about the quest that I hate, it's always Shooter Born in Heaven, and maybe capturing snooze posts as well, which fortunately the latter one has been removed from the Kappa requirement, thankfully. Unfortunately for me, they removed it once I already completed it for last wipe, or this wipe, sorry. I almost quit after completing that task. I was not motivated to play at all, because capturing outposts is literally you camping in a certain area and waiting to get kills. Getting 12 kills. I think it's 12 kills now. It was like 15 kills last wipe, and then once I completed it, they reduced the amount of kills you needed once again. BSG is obviously just tracking what I'm doing and changing tasks based on that. But all jokes aside, I feel like quests where you have to just grind and like waste away your hours trying to get that fucking 100-meter headshot out and camp in a certain area in like different maps and get a certain amount of kills. It's just not fun, and I don't understand why maps that are just extremely dog shit to snipe at, like for example Streets of Tarkov and Shooter Born in Heaven is the worst combo ever. It looks like a good map for sniping because it has like long streets and like one big open area, you know, in front of theater that you can camp, but it took me around 6 or 7 hours to complete it, and every kill I got for Shooter Born in Heaven was literally off of spawn when I spotted them like 5 to 10 seconds into the raid, because everyone is gonna run into buildings and stuff. Like once they get into the buildings, you're not gonna fucking get them unless you're extract camping. And even extract, I don't know any good extracts where you can hold a Shooter Born in Heaven angle, maybe besides the green flare one. But my point is basically it took me 6 to 7 hours to complete Shooter Born in Heaven on streets alone, and there was 6 maps total, 4 streets. At that time when I completed it, it was 125 meters. Obviously that didn't help. Like that extra 25 meters, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot. Like that alone was enough to like piss me off, because I got multiple 100-meter kills, but I didn't get 125-meter kills for my Shooter Born in Heaven requirement. Fortunately now it's back to 100 meters, so that's nice. My point is that why do all these tasks, or some of these tasks, have to be so specific? Like why do Shooter Born in Hell have, why do the kills have to be headshots? Why does it have to be 6 different maps? Why can't it just be 15 100-meter kills in Tarkov? Like no matter what map, like I would like to go and just go into woods and just start sniping, no matter if I kill them into the fucking knee or into the head. Like what's it really matter? I just feel like it's like an artificial way to like throw you around all the different maps and just fucking bore the fuck out of you, because I hate Shooter Born in Heaven. I've never liked that task. Every time I didn't get Kappa in previous wipes, it's because I just couldn't be asked to deal with Shooter Born in Heaven. It's an absolute garbage task, the way it is right now, I feel like. But I actually do have a point that I wanted to get to, which is that if you work a full-time job, or you go to school, or let's say in general you have 2 or 3 hours a day that you can play Escape from Tarkov, you probably still want to have a goal to work towards, besides like just going for PvP and like making money. So making money is a goal in itself, of course. And I feel like getting the Kappa container is a great goal for everyone, or I feel like it should be. Many people would like to go for Kappa, but then they realize that they have to go prone in a bush on Streets of Tarkov because they need to kill someone with a 100-meter headshot during the full moon while humming Toto's Africa. Like no one wants to do that shit. If anyone in BSG is currently listening to me, please change that shit. I think if BSG makes the Kappa container reachable for every single player that is willing to put in some effort, not life-changing effort, like I've said before, some of these tasks are fucking stupid. Like a little bit of effort, these players will actually stay for longer periods of time, like longer throughout the wipe, to work towards that goal, meaning that they will, basically means that they will come back to play the game. Even if it's 1 hour, 2 or 3 hours a day, they will come back for longer periods of time because they want to at least get that Kappa container once in their EFT playthrough, right? Because I feel like right now, like the month is really a peak of Tarkov, and then like the second month is still, it's popular, but it's like you can feel that it's like starting to slow down, and then the third month, at the end of third month, like you know, like it's just fucking, it's a snooze fest. Also, I feel like the level 55 requirement, which was, I think it was like 61 last wipe, and then I think before that it was like level 70 to get Kappa. Like, why does it have to have a level requirement? Like, I understand BSG might want to make some real life rubles by selling EODs and stuff, but I don't think the container should be the main selling point of EOD. It should be the DLCs and the stash base and stuff like that. Because if you think about it, once you reach max traders at level 42, at that point you have gained 2.7 million XP, and a very big chunk of it is from just questing. I think it's safe to say that majority of the quests are already completed at that point, and to get the Kappa container you need to get almost 4 million XP on top of that 2.7 mil. So you need, I think it's like 6.8 million or something total for level 55. It is definitely, of course, it's easier once you get like level 46. The dailies and the weeklies, the XP rewards increase, but I think leveling should be just a side effect of playing the game, not getting a fucking set of pixels where you can put stuff inside of in the game. I just think if those level requirements are removed and some of these quests are redesigned to respect people's time, more people will end up playing longer throughout the wipe just to work towards the Kappa container, or at least try. They will try longer, I think. As a result, the lobbies are going to be fuller for a longer period of time, which eventually once again means that we're back at my first annoying thing of Escape from Tarkov, reduces queue times. So that's my little rant. I don't even know if it made much sense, but I just wanted to get a couple things off my chest. I just wanted to talk about it. I want to see what you guys think about it. But like once again, I emphasize that these are my opinions from my point of view. I understand that everyone else plays the game different. You have your own ideas. And like I said, I would love to hear it in the comments. And maybe one day someone from BSG will end up in the comment section and they will find something cool that you guys pointed out. And thank you for watching, guys. I really hope that maybe someone from BSG finds something useful from this video or the comment section. So we can enjoy the game a little longer and have a better experience of destroying our brain cells. Anyway, I hope you guys have an awesome day. Thanks for watching. I appreciate the attention, and I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. Thank you and goodbye.